Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a great time here at MetaConnect so far. Nice, nice. Welcome to our presentation. And before we dive in, check this out. All right, what a cool video, right? Yeah, I love it. Well, this is how you know we have some good stuff to show you today. So my name is Felix Zhang. I'm a software engineer here at Meta Reality Labs. And together with my colleague Rick Cabannier, we are super excited to be here today to tell you about something we are really passionate about: building immersive web application with WebXR. So let's get started. If you're not familiar with the concept of WebXR, you might be wondering, well, we have the web and we have XR, but how do the two come together? Well, let me show you. If you look at the video on the right, you will see me casually browsing the web, shopping for my next MetaQuest device, but maybe I want to do something a little more exciting, like jumping into a game or two. So I close my tab, which lands me on the new tab page of the browser. Elysian catches my eye, so I click on it. And I'm taken to the Elysian website. I hit play, and boom, I'm in a fully immersive environment. There are my hands in front of me, the game menu behind, and check it out, there is an avatar mirror, and I am a robot. I select survival, and I'm teleported to the starting point of the game, ready to take on some robots. And this is how web and XR come together. We start from a familiar web page, and that same web page takes full control of the XR hardware that it's running on and deliver a seamless, immersive environment all around you. Now that we've taken a look at a user's journey from web into XR, let's take a moment to appreciate some of the cool WebXR applications already out there. From fully immersive VR web applications to cutting-edge mixed reality, these apps show what's possible when web meets XR. So be sure, get ready to see some of the coolest immersive web applications in the market. So on the very left, we have Project Flowerbed. This is a WebXR showcase experience that we developed right here at Meta. Project Flowerbed is a casual gardening experience where users can explore and customize their own private island by planting different kinds of trees and flowers. And you can even capture and share the beautiful garden you've created using the virtual camera in the game. You can check it out in headset using the QR code. Next up, we have Escape Artist, which is a masterfully crafted escape room experience by Paradowski Creative. This one actually won the People's Voice winner, Webby Award, of the Best Narrative Experience in the Metaverse, AI, and Virtual category this year. Yeah, right there, yeah. This is honestly one of my favorite WebXR experience to date, so I don't want to spoil it for you. Please go check it out using that QR code. And last but not least, we have Elysian, which is a thrilling shooter experience that we caught a glimpse of earlier. Elysian features two game modes, a single-player survival mode and a four-player multiplayer deathmatch mode. What's really cool about Elysian is that it really taps into the cross-platform aspect of the web, making the game playable on PC, mobile, and of course, XR headsets. So it's really easy for people to dive into the same experience no matter what device their friends are on. Elysian is completely free to play at elysian.fun, or you can use the QR code, which will take you right there. Now that we've taken a look at some of the immersive VR web applications, let's take a look at what's possible when we blend the virtual with the physical using mixed reality applications. On the very left, we have Real Measure, which is a mixed reality measuring app allowing users to measure real-life objects using the tip of their controllers. It offered 2 measure modes to accommodate for objects of different sizes and achieved sub-centimeter accuracy because it tapped into the high precision tracking of the XR controller hardware. Next up, we have Chairs, etc., which is actually a joint effort between Meta and AWS, showcasing what the future of furniture shopping could look like on the spatial web. Utilizing scene understanding features, users can seamlessly place, drag, and rotate virtual furnitures in their physical surrounding. And what's even cooler is that these virtual furnitures, once placed, can cast a realistic shadow on the ground. How cool is that? And finally, we have Sneaker Builder, which is a mixed reality sneaker configurator experience, envisioning a future where users can hold, inspect, and customize their sneakers on the fly before purchasing. You can create unique colorways or adjust sizes for try-on, all from the comfort of your own home. I'm really excited for that future. And speaking of futures I'm excited for, I'm super stoked to be here today to announce our partnership with Puma. Let's check out what they're cooking.
Music bed.
All right, now that we've seen some, thank you. Now that we've seen some cool immersive web applications in action, let's shift gears and take a look at the technology behind all of this that makes all of it possible, WebXR, and explore what it is and why it matters. Let's begin by explaining what WebXR actually is. If you're familiar with OpenXR, you can kind of think of WebXR as the web-based version of that. It's a standardized API allowing web applications to directly tap into the XR hardware that it's running on and deliver seamless immersive experiences to users directly from their browsers. But why is this so important and why should we care about it? Well, first of all, it's an accessible and scalable platform. The true magic behind WebXR lies in how easily it integrates with the rest of the web ecosystem. There's no need to reinvent the wheel here. You can build on the familiar web technology that you already know and love: JavaScript, HTML, CSS. And whether you're working with a framework like React or you're just building a simple web page from scratch, WebXR always fit right in. And it's honestly this aspect of WebXR that makes immersive web development so accessible and straightforward. Next, because WebXR is built on the web, it's cross-platform by nature. No matter where your users are, maybe they're on PC or mobile, and of course on XR headsets, they can always dive right into the same immersive experience at the same time. And don't forget, you only develop once and deploy everywhere without the need to tailor your WebXR application to every single device on the market. And finally, deployment and updates couldn't be easier. Users don't need to install anything. All they need is a browser. And pushing an update to your WebXR experience is just as straightforward as pushing an update to a regular website. There's no App Store submission process. There's no manual updates. The users get the latest version every single time. It's a huge win for rapid iteration and making sure your content is always up to date. In short, WebXR makes immersive experiences scalable, accessible, and easy. Now that we know the power of WebXR, let's take a look at some of its standout features and explain what they are. First, WebXR has what I like to call immersive foundations. These are the features that we typically associate with engines such as Unity or Unreal. Things like access to head pose, eye buffers, controller data, hardware accelerated 3D graphics, and spatial audio. And these are the technology that made it possible for those cool immersive web applications we just saw to deliver high-quality XR content to the users directly from their browsers. Next, WebXR has versatile inputs. This is, to me at least, one of the most important aspects of WebXR because it supports different types of inputs, including traditional XR controllers, hand tracking, and specialized tools like the Logitech MX Ink. And what's the cooler part of this is that you can combine them and use them at the same time. This opens up infinite amount of possibility for interaction design and empower developer to build something truly unique and intuitive. And last but not least, we have contextual awareness. And this is where WebXR steps beyond virtual reality and steps into the realm of mixed reality. Thanks to features like plane detection, video pass-through, mesh detection, spatial anchors, and hit testing, your immersive web application can gather information about the user's surroundings and truly brings the physical environment into the interaction. How cool is that? It's these three features, immersive foundations, versatile inputs, and contextual awareness that truly set WebXR apart as a capable platform that empowers developers to build truly engaging and intuitive experiences on the web. Okay, now that we understand what WebXR is and why it matters, let's shift gears and take a look at the development side of things. We will start with an example of converting an existing web project into WebXR, and then I will introduce you to a new tool that aims to optimize the entire process of immersive web development. Let's take a look at this Three.js application that already works on the flat web, and let's convert it into WebXR in just a few steps. First, you need to enable XR rendering in the renderer instance. If you're building for mixed reality, be sure to turn on alpha so that the video pass-through layer can be visible to the users. Next up, you need to adjust your animation loop. On the flat web, we're very used to using the request animation frame to build our frame loop. However, using Three.js and WebXR, you need to be sure that you're using set animation loop so that custom WebXR logic can run. And the final step is to just include the built-in Three.js XR button, which not only indicate the XR compatibility of the browser environment your app is running in, but also serves as an entry point to your WebXR application when clicked. And that's it. With these three minimal steps, you've already converted a flat web Three.js application into a fully immersive WebXR application. I know, this is only a Three.js example, but I assure you, if you're using other frameworks like A-Frame or Babylon.js, the process is just as easy and accessible. And speaking of things that makes immersive web development accessible, I'm so excited to introduce this new tool to you that is designed to do just that. Immersive Web Emulation Runtime, or IWR for short. IWR is a full WebXR runtime built from the ground up using modern TypeScript. It's designed to assist with emulation and development of WebXR experiences, especially on platforms without native WebXR support. Some of you might be wondering, doesn't this sound a little similar to the Immersive Web Emulator browser extension that you guys launched last year? And you'd be absolutely right, because IWR is essentially the newer, better version of that, just in a slightly different package. IWR actually started as an initiative to replace the aging WebXR polyfill implementation currently in use in Immersive Web Emulator. But as time went on and as we listened to the feedback from the IWE community, we decided to take it one step further and build it out as a standalone library that exposes full control to the emulated XR device to the developers using JavaScript. And this is how IWR was born. We will dive into the specific features of IWR next, but if you're curious to learn more about it, scan the QR code, which will take you to the documentation side of IWR for you to check it out later. One of the main things that we had in mind when we built IWR was to empower WebXR developers to build their bespoke WebXR dev tool to suit their own specific WebXR development needs. As convenient as Immersive Web Emulator was, it's impossible to address every single WebXR, the needs of every single WebXR developer out there. And with iWare, though, you have the added flexibility to programmatically define actions or certain sequences of actions and trigger them directly from JavaScript. You can map those actions to mouse and keyboard events, or if you're feeling creative, you can build an entire developer interface on top and control your emulated experience in specialized ways. Which brings me to iWare/DevUI, which we're looking at in the video. This is a new dev tool concept that we're experimenting that ditches the side panel of IWE and overlay everything on top of the emulated experience. You still have the familiar control you had with IWE. However, now you have an added feature, Play Mode. Play Mode, when activated, will lock your mouse cursor into the app canvas and allow you to control the emulated experience using mouse and keyboard, just like a first-person 3D PC game. And as you can see in the video, it is making a huge difference in the way that you interact with virtual elements in your WebXR experience when in emulation mode. Now, if you're curious to check it out or use it for your own projects, you can scan the QR code here, which will take you to the NPM page of that tool. If you've hooked up a few of these actions to mouse or keyboard shortcuts, you are not too far away from unlocking another very powerful aspect of iWare. Bring cross-platform control to your WebXR experiences. Now, we have to acknowledge the fact that it's impossible to convert every single WebXR experiences perfectly onto flat platforms like PC and mobile. However, using the technique that we just discussed with iWare/DevUI, locking your XR controllers in front of your camera and control the whole thing using your mouse and keyboard. A lot of the times, you'll find it surprisingly well for your WebXR application to work on other platforms. In the video, you'll see Project Flowerbed being played using PC controls, and this is powered by, you guessed it, iWare. If you're curious in how I did it, please scan the QR code, which will take you to a mini blog documenting this entire process. Cool. Give you a second to scan the QR code. All right. And last but not least, iWare ships with experimental support for input recording and playback feature. iWare has an action recorder that is designed to be embedded into a WebXR experience running on actual XR hardware. It will then capture input data frame by frame, which can later be exported as a JSON file used to be played back the sequence of action on a different device with the help of iWare. This unlocks surprisingly exciting possibilities such as automated end-to-end testing for WebXR experiences on more scalable platforms. If you scan the QR code, you will be taken to a page with a live demo with a pre-recorded sequence of action played out on a device without native WebXR support, such as your phone or your laptop, much like what's being shown here in the video. And that's it. I hope you are all excited for the future for immersive web development. And before you leave Meta Connect, we want to set you up for success with your first WebXR project. So if you're interested, come by this afternoon for the WebXR First Step workshop, which will be happening from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. in Salt and Pepper, which is the room right there. In this 2-hour workshop, we'll be building a target practice mini game together, and you'll be able to get some hands-on time with WebXR on the shiny new MetaQuest 3S device, and maybe even grab some swag. And with that said, I will pass it over to my colleague Rick. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Felix. That was really awesome. That was a great overview of WebXR. So what struck me in the last couple of months is how WebXR really is coming into its own. We have more and more headset vendors that support WebXR. I think if you like a serious headset, you support WebXR. On the standard side, we're all, like all the major companies are getting together and we're trying to figure things out, and more features are being surfaced. At the same time, the frameworks being written by either Felix or A-Frame from Diego here, they're getting better and better and making it easier and easier to like develop WebXR applications. And the results are there. We have Archery Revolution, we have Elysian, we have Escape Artist from James that are like really almost indistinguishable from like native applications. And the results show. It's like we have people coming up and they're like, wait, how can I download the mods for these games? And when you tell them, hey, these are not like native games, these are websites, they're like completely baffled. They don't understand. They're like, no, I'm launching this app from the browser. And when you tell them, no, it is the browser, they're like, oh, wow, they're like very surprised. So in a way, that is great because the web has always said like, oh, you need an app in order to have like an appealing application. The web cannot do native gaming, and that is obviously not true. So what we try to do at Meta is anytime there is like a new feature being surfaced in the presence platform, we try to also surface it in WebXR. Just to give you all more capabilities. And today I'm going to give you an overview of some of the new capabilities that we're surfacing. The first one that's already shipped earlier this year is support for concurrent hands and controllers. So basically, before this feature shipped, you either had hands or you had controllers, but you never saw them at the same time. But now, I worked with Draw3C and other vendors, and we extended the WebXR spec. It only took like a month. So saying like standards are slow, they don't always have to be slow. And now that is just turn on the request browser and it's enabled. You don't even have to request it, it's just there. It's fully backward compatible, but if you want to use it, it's there. So as you can see when recording, you can either have hands, and you can see them when the hands have like little rays coming out of it, or when you're holding the controllers, the rays are coming out of the controllers. So the obvious use case for this is better immersion. But personally, I also like it because when I put my controllers down on my desk, I can find them again. I don't have to like look for them in the dark. The other thing that we have shipped experimentally is support for WebXR body tracking. WebXR body tracking is basically, if you're familiar with WebXR hand tracking, it gives you like access to a whole bunch of body joints. More than just the bones in your hands, you have like upper arms, legs, your spine, your head. And some of these positions are like estimated, but some of them are also coming from sensors. And a lot of people write WebXR applications that basically try to do their own avatar animation, and it's different for every headset, so it's a suboptimal implementation. So once they have this feature, they can transmit their body poses to other people and get better avatars. Like I said, this is shipping experimentally. I think some people already played around with it. And I'm hoping that we can ship this by the end of the year. It sounds like everybody on the standards group is like pretty much on board with it. The other thing that we just added support for is support for the Logitech MX Ink. This is a new type of input controller. It can work by itself. You can use it in either hand. I'm a left-handed, so I use it in my left hand. And you can also use the controller with it at the same time. And the device has like several new inputs. For instance, the tip of the device is pressure sensitive, so you can write on it on a hard surface. It has a touch sensitive area in the middle, so it will measure how hard you push on the pen. And it has like 2 buttons and a meta button that works exactly like the meta button on your controller. And the tracking is very high precision, and it also has haptics. So it basically acts like a full controller. And if you wrote your WebXR experience not expecting a specific type of controller, it will basically just work. I think the Escape Artist just works with it. You don't even have to do anything. That's like the power of WebXR. New input device, and it just works. The other thing that I'm hoping to ship very soon, it's pretty much ready, and we have it's already in the standards, is support for unbounded spaces. So previously, if you were in WebXR, you had the Guardian boundary, and every time you like got close to the Guardian boundary or you stepped outside of it, your experience would stop rendering, which really limited you to where like you could how far you could go. Like if you want to build like a room scale application or home scale application, just couldn't do that. So with unbounded spaces, the user is free to roam around their house. They can even go up and down floors. But still, it's fully compatible with everything we had before. Anchors will continue to work, meshes, planes, depth sensing. I'm not sure if you can see it, but the depth sensing is working here, and like whatever I'm drawing is like being obscured by the walls and doors. So everything just continues working like it did before. It is shipped, like I said, it's shipping currently as an experiment, but it will ship like very soon. And finally, this is like something very exciting that was announced at the keynote yesterday by Mark Rapkin, and it is support for WebXR progressive apps. So also called immersive PWAs. So for you as a developer, what is an immersive PWA? What does it allow you to do? It basically, like you have to make basically almost no changes to your WebXR experience. Previously, you had to wait for the user to click a button. You don't even have to do that anymore. You can just go immersive whenever you would like to do that. That's basically all you need to do, and now you're almost ready for the store. What you do next then is you just use Bubble Wrap to package your site as an APK, and you deploy it to the Meta Horizon store. And then once you do that, and you're deployed in the Meta Horizon store and people run it, we also lit up the digital goods API, which allow you to do in-app purchases. So for you as a developer, what does this mean? That means your website is all of a sudden open to way more people. Your exposure is like way higher. You will be listed among all the other applications on the store. So people will be able to install your APK and yeah, you just run it just like they do a native app. And the digital goods API will finally make you able to like make money on your website. Make easy money. Make it easy to make money on your website.